All right, go.
I'm rocking with Don Kilam.
Let's go. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy, Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam, and as always, prosperity is your divine birthright. As always, I'm not a licensed attorney or tax expert. I do this for educational, informational purposes only. Do have a doctorate in law, business, do got some degrees. But peace and love, that's neither here and there. This knowledge should be common to all private families. Certain private families have a little peace. I want everybody to understand. I try to break things down in simplest terms for everybody to grasp this. Now, this is my free pro bono work. When I bring it to the public, so don't ask me for shit else, all right? You want to tap in? I got a 7-day free trial right now. 7-day free trial. You tap in to the private school. Go to school.com/Don Kilam, SKOOL.com/DONKILAM. And the reason being is because we have an event coming up November 14, 2025. It's open to the public, any members of my private school. You have to be a member of the school to tap in. And then I have special guests. I'm going to be releasing that information. I've already released it to the school. I'm going to be releasing it to the public shortly. We're going to have next day private events. If you want to tap in with that private trustee training, there's different type of trust. There's different type of public entities that you want to maneuver with. All right. And I'm all about generating wealth. All right. Generating wealth and then learning how to protect that. But the true wealth starts with knowing who you are and your name. The last name is the legacy. But peace and love. Let me know, everybody in the comments right now, where you tapped in and tuned in from right now. But if you want to tap in with us directly, if you need me to send you some links, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Again, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. We do have a 7-day free trial in the school. You want to tap in and see what's going on, because this is the only way you can get access to the trustee training. You have to tap in with your boy Don Kilam with the private school. We got Alabama in the building. We got Lake Havasu, Arizona in the building. Shout out to Naptown. We got Cali in the building, Tennessee in the building, Houston, Texas in the building. Shout out to the Midwest too. We got Northern Cali in the motherfucking building. Peace and love to everybody, wherever you're tapped in and tuned in at. I just want this to make sense. I want this stuff to click. We got North Carolina in the building. So hold your questions, okay? Hold your questions. We got Florida deep in here. We got Tampa in the building. We got Phoenix, the 602. We got the ATL. We got San Antonio, Texas. We got Delaware in the building. Shout out to the Bronx. What's up, Bronx? He says, I be trying to educate people on this, tell them about your dog, but they be so lost. Just let you know, this ain't no... Right now, I am live right now. I'm live right now. Now, if you see the replay, shout out to y'all, but I'm live right now reading the comments in the live section. Ocean City, Maryland in the motherfucking building. Illinois, my birth state. I'm an Illinoisian. Louisiana, and Illinoisian is a key word right there. That's my nationality if I'm claiming the republic, okay? If I'm in the republic, okay? So let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to it. What a Social Security number, what is it and what it really means? Your Social Security number is tied to a legal name, in turn, which is a Sesta Que Vie trust. All right? A Sesta Que Vie trust. And these are key terms that I need people to understand and overstand. What is a Sesta Que Vie trust? Hold your questions. I'm not answering questions. Text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Again, text Private Life to 702-200-4900 or tap in with me directly at the school for products and services. So look, a Sesta Que trust is an old term, also known as the keyword now, beneficiary of a trust, who holds, okay, check this out. There's some more keywords. Who holds the equitable and beneficial interest in the property, while the legal ownership is held by the trustee. Woo! That's a mouthful right there, but I understand it. The term is derived from medieval French, meaning he for whom the benefit of the trust was created, while the term beneficiary is more common today. The concept of Sesta Que trust remains fundamental to trust law, representing the individual for whose benefit the trust manages the trust assets. So, the Sesta Que trust has the equitable interest, meaning they are the rightful owner from a beneficial standpoint, even if the trustee holds the legal title. And that's what's going on with the Social Security number. You're the beneficiary. You have equitable title versus legal title. The government has legal title over this birth certificate, over this Social Security trust, over the driver's license, whatever documents that you have with the government. You're holding equitable interest. You're holding equitable title. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna break it down. When you're looking at equity, the one who possesses the equitable right of the property receives rents, issues, profits thereof. The legal estate which is invested in the trustee. So when you're holding the equitable title, you hold the res or the thing itself, and you receive the benefits. So benefits can include going to a public education school, receiving food stamps, okay, being able to shit. When you go to jail, that's a benefit of this trust. Taxes, tickets, fees. You are held with the tax. All right. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense for everybody. So a lot of people don't even realize that they're operating in trust in the public already with the Social Security number. Most people know about the Social Security trust, but they don't know that the trust is a Sesta Que Vie trust. And that's one of the first things I learned about when coming into this private knowledge. I learned about what the Sesta Que Vie trust was. And this is the public trust, the default trust. This is what public families are under. If you're not part of a private family, you're part of this public family when you're using these documents. The Social Security number is a representation of this Sesta Que Vie trust. And why is that? Because assets are being held under it until you die. The assets are being held under the Social Security number. So we're going to look at the Sesta Que Vie definition once more. Just look up Sesta Que Vie. We can get off the trust. We understand it's a trust, but just look up the Sesta Que Vie because that's what type of trust it is. So the Sesta Que Vie is the beneficiary of a trust or an insurance policy. And you must enter and understand that the Social Security number is an insurance. I'm going to go, sis. You can grab this from the Social Security Administration. Simple as that. Think about it. That's a key word, administration. What are the trust funds? The Social Security trust funds are financial accounts in the U.S. Treasury. There are two separate Social Security trust funds, the old age and survivors insurance. The insurance is simple as that. So you're the beneficiary of this insurance. You're the beneficiary of this trust. The French term English translates to he who lives. It means that the duration of a gift, trust, estate, or insurance contract lasts as long as a particular person, such as the giver of the gift or the beneficiary of an estate lives. And understand that you have an estate. If you plan on handing anything off to your children, if you have cars, you have houses, you have created an estate because you plan to hand this off. But the thing is, when you're under the Social Security number, if that's the only thing you're using a legal name. The Social Security number is tied to a legal entity, a legal name. And I'm going to get to that. And I'm going to break it down in the law. But you have to understand that you cannot hand this down to your children. How do you create generational wealth with the Social Security number? You can't. When you die, the Social Security number dies. Therefore, any assets tied to that legal name or legal estate under that public number, it has to go through probate. The government decides what happens to that property. Let me know if this makes sense, everybody. Drop a 100, fire emoji. I want to know that everybody's following along so far. Because I need y'all to understand, private families move different. When you have a private education, you're taught to move differently. And this is what I go over in my school. I go over baby land deeds, patents and nativity. These are alternatives to the birth certificate. So you're being recognized as a private family. And I'm gonna show everybody. If you're in my school, because I'm giving y'all a copy of this video, I'm screen sharing, I'm doing everything. I'm gonna show my Instagram family. I'm gonna show my Instagram family what I'm gonna go over next. Because when you understand the public sector and the private sector, right? Everybody can do a simple Google search. Look at this. A simple Google search. Is family law private or public? Family law is a branch of private law governing relationships and disputes between individuals, though it can also involve public law aspects in cases of child protection or intervention by local authorities. So I want y'all to know, private law is family law. Family law is a branch of private law. You have private versus public. You have a public craft and you have a private craft. They private practice on you in medical all the time. If you have Medicaid, they're gonna public practice on you. Then you have a private practice. Okay, it's called private practice. We can look this up.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Peace and love. It's your boy Don Kilam, and welcome to Dream Keepers Radio, that private life podcast. You're here, tuned in with your boy, and this is brought to you by Follow the Yellow Brick Road by Don Kilam. Search the book on Amazon now. Go get the book and uncover the matrix and how the United States is operating in the financial marketplace. Much peace and love. They teach you what private corporations are. So look, a private practice, a professional business such as that of a lawyer or doctor that is not controlled or paid for by the government or a larger company. A private practice is a healthcare business that is wholly owned and operated by providers rather than a hospital, health system, or other entity. Typically, a private practice will be run by one physician, but some private practices may include a few providers working together in a group practice. So understand, a private practice is that's not controlled by the government. Let me know if that makes sense. Because you're dealing with the public. Anytime you deal with the public, you have a lot of people go to these public attorneys. We utilize attorneys, we do. But we like using attorneys that might be in that jurisdiction with a private practice, but they still might be well versed in their codes and statutes and they're in the jurisdiction that they're around. A public sector of the economy is the part of the economy that's controlled by the government. Private sector is the part of the national economy that's not under direct government control. So the private sector is not controlled by the government. The public sector is controlled by the government. That's why it's called public defender, public assistance, public housing. It's for the government. Anything that's in the public, an IPO, the initial public offering, anything that's in the public is directly influenced by the government. Over and understand this. So, with private law, a branch of law that deals with relations between individuals and institutions, rather than between those of the government. The government can't infringe on private law. If you have questions, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. I'm here pro bono. I'm not going to fucking rewind and do what the fuck y'all tell me to do. I'll kick you out my live, motherfuckers. I'm fucking, take notes. If you don't get it, text the fucking number or click the link in the goddamn bio. I'm not your fucking servant. Understand that. A workman is worthy of fucking hire. You should be asking how you should support this motherfucking man right here that's giving you this game that no one's ever gave you. I'm trying to get you breaking free of your generational curses. You stupid fucks. And it's crazy that I have to talk to people like that. This is how I talk to the public because that's how you have. I'm giving you life-changing information right now. Can I get a fire emoji of 100 if you agree with this? So when you see somebody like that, tell him to shut the fuck up and let the man preach while he's in his motherfucking zone. I'm in my fucking zone bringing you knowledge, goddammit. You understand? If you want this replay, go to the fucking school. Ain't that what I said? Text Private Life to 702-200-4900 or fucking click the link in the bio and support me, you freeloading bastard. Ask your mama. Ask your daddy. That's free. Ask your baby mama. That's free. You can get nothing that's advice for nothing, right? You get nothing that's advice for nothing. So tap in and tune in with your boy, Don Kilam, or get the fuck off my live. If you can't catch up with it, it wasn't for you. Woo! Slow motherfucker. So back to the private law aspect. You got public law, you got private law. Family law is private law. And a lot of people don't understand that because they don't have their agreements in place. They don't have their family trust in place. The family trust is the law. The family trust is the law. Why do I say the family trust is the law? Because what is a government? Well, we can see right here under 28 U.S.C. 3002, subsection 15A, that the United States is a federal corporation. So we go up here, a person, subsection 10, person includes a natural person, a corporation, a trust, an estate, a public or private entity. So trusts are people. A family trust can't bring down the law because a trust is under private law and the government can't interfere with a private contract because what is actually a trust? What is a trust? A trust is a legal entity with separate and distinct rights similar to a person or corporation. And a trust, a party known as a truster, gives another party, a trustee, the right to hold title and manage properties or assets for the benefit of a third party, the beneficiary. Additionally, a trust can help an estate avoid taxes and probate. It can protect assets from creditors and dictate the terms of inheritance for beneficiaries. So, there's beneficiaries involved, there's inheritance involved, there's creditors involved, there's probate involved, there's estates involved, there's taxes involved. And if you're dealing with the Social Security number, you have to deal with all of that unless you have your private family trust established. That way you can bypass probate. You can bypass taxes. You can bypass creditors. Most people know about the Social Security Trust, but they don't know their Sesta Que Vie use. The Social Security number is a representation of a trust. And this is the public trust that this is the default trust that you get in the public for public families. Yes, a trust can do anything that a person can do besides vote. That's the only thing a trust can't do. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But the point right now of the Social Security Trust is you hold equitable title. And how is this so? That's because you hold the res or the thing itself and receive the benefits because you keep identifying as with this number and you keep identifying with this legal entity, the legal name, okay, that's tied to this trust. The one who possesses the equitable rights of the property receives rents, issues, profits thereof, the legal estate, which is invested in the trustee. So when you clock into your job, you fill out that W-2 form. That W-4 form. That's filling out for your legal estate that you're receiving the profits. So, and the trustee is going to be the public government because you fill out the IRS form. It's not you. So this is the worst trust to be under in the public because you are the beneficiary, because you receive the rents, you receive the issues, the profits thereof, the legal estate, which is invested in the trustee. This is called commingling when you are trying to act as a trustee and a beneficiary. Commingling. People go to jail for this all the time with even with private trusts when they commingle. Commingle means to mix or combine things together, especially funds or properties, into a single or whole common stock. Anytime you see the word common stock as well, that means public stock. All right. But that's what's going on. You're commingling funds, trying to act as a trustee and beneficiary. In the public, the United States holds the legal title and rights to your estate because under the Social Security number, the United States can administer your property after you die. I hope that makes sense. When you're using the Social Security number and that alone, that's where your assets are placed under, the legal name that you're using in the public, birth certificate, ID. That means that the United States holds legal title because you're using their forms of documents. You have a car title, you have a birth certificate, you have an ID, a Social Security card. These are legal titles under the United States Incorporation because under the Social Security number, the United States can administer your property after you die. That's who gets it goes through the court system. It goes through probate. If you don't have a will or trust established, your assets, houses, cars, anything of value has to be administered and handed down through the United States probate court. The beneficiary gets taxed because you receive rents, issues, profits thereof, the legal estate, which is invested in a trustee. So if there is beneficiaries, you had a will in place or something like that, they're still going to get taxed. They're still going to get taxed, inheritance tax, state tax. This is why we teach trustee training, because as a private trustee, you don't own anything, you control it. My children will not be beneficiaries, they will become trustees. They become successor trustees. Your family becomes successor trustees so they can manage these affairs. You should have 501c1as, you should have nonprofit organizations in place to be the beneficiary, and your family shall be trustees of those nonprofit organizations, those family foundations. And we can look up the greats, all the greats. We'll start with Warren Buffett. He's still living. His wife has passed. Rest in paradise, Susan Thompson. But she still takes care of the family. With the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation. The Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation supports a lot of different things, but it takes care of the family. Just know that it was formed in 1964 and it continues today. We can look at the it used to be in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now it's just called the Gates Foundation. It's holding $77.2 billion in assets as of December 31st, 2024. Formerly called Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Their name is the business. William H. Gates Foundation, Learning Foundation, all established with a private family trust that then in turn created a public foundation. All the greats have this. All the greats. So this is called the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. This is through Mark Zuckerberg's wife. It's an Initiative Foundation. All the greats will have a family foundation. This is what I've been trying to tell people for years. When I tell you your name is the business. Your name is the business. You have to move correctly through family trust. Let me know that this is all making sense so far. Can I get a 100? Fire emoji. I need to know. So when you understand that a person is a trust, a person is a business, you understand the term United States business. This is 15 USC 4724 E1. Again, 15 USC 4724 E1. 15 USC 4724 E1. United States business means a United States citizen. So y'all know I'm not lying. United States business means a United States citizen. There's the code, 15 USC 4724 E1. Text private life to 702-200-4900. Text private life to 702-200-4900. We'll tap in with the school or click the link in the bio. So, United States business means United States citizen. Understand the term citizen means property of the United States corporation. So this is why you want to learn how to become a national. Under 8 USC 1101-A21, 8 USC 1101-A21, the term national means a person owing allegiance to a state. That's why I said I'm an Illinoisian. Alaskans, Texans, Hawaiians, they owe allegiance to their state. You join the school, you look up oath of allegiance, you get the template right there, so you can file and be a national of your state. You're an American national now. Your state is your country. A lot of people don't understand that. The United States is a federal corporation. America is the continent, and the state is your country. California is a country. New York is a country. Texas is a country. A lot of people don't understand that. That's some game for you. So what has happened, what has truly happened when you're using these birth certificates, IDs, Social Security cards, all together, it's called amalgamation. This is what has happened. And amalgamation is the accommodation of two or more companies into one entity. Amalgamation. And they've created this entity in something called a special purpose vehicle. A special purpose vehicle. I have brought this to a lot of people's attention a long time ago. So if you're new to this, I appreciate you tapping in, but you need to study because this is far advanced. This is for my advanced people right here. Understanding what a special purpose vehicle is, this is why I teach people about parent companies and holding companies. A special purpose vehicle, also known as special purpose entity, is a separate subsidiary formed by a parent company to isolate and manage financial risk. By operating independently, special purpose vehicles secure obligations even in the event of a parent company's bankruptcy. And that's what's happened. The United States has went bankrupt. The United States is using bankruptcy and they have pledged the people's labor, the citizens' labor, your future kids, your assets that you're putting under this Social Security trust is what's put up as collateral for the bankruptcy and the United States debt through amalgamation, through the Social Security Trust Fund, and you're the beneficiary. That's what's going on. I feel like I broke it down pretty simple. So the United States holds the true birth certificate, and you are given a copy, and this is why they hold legal title. Even though you're doing all the work for the trust, you're still a beneficiary in this public trust. You can only control what you create. You did not create this trust. You can only control what you create. You did not create this trust. This trust has been created for you. I hope that makes sense. You did not create this trust. The trust was created for you, and you can only use it in a beneficiary manner. It's a Sesta Que Vie trust. This is the public default trust for uninformed families. A public education is not taught about private corporations and private trusts. They're not taught about private stockholders. They're not taught about private investors. It is not the public education's duty to teach you this because it's up to your family, because family law is private law. Trust law is private law. Trust law is contract law, and family law is private law. Family law is private law. Trust law is private law. Trust law is contract law, and family law is private law. So this is to be handed down through private families because no one can tell you how to govern your family. What has happened is families go to the public for help and they give up their private God-given rights. So being private is being sovereign. You want to be sovereign, you got to learn how to be private. Equitable title just means you receive the benefits. Legal title gives you the control. They issue the documents, they issue the titles, allowing you to hold and benefit from using the Social Security trust attached to your legal name. This is why it's always about maintaining privacy. This isn't your natural name, but a legal name, and now a legal person. I broke all of this down step by step. So this is business, nothing personal when you live in the United States. It's business, nothing personal when you live in the United States. The Social Security number is a default trust given to everyone within it. It's a public Sesta Que trust. And within this trust, a beneficiary has no rights, just the trustees. The government is the trustee and controls the trust, and this is why people think public trustees control them. This is why people think the government controls them, because the government is the trustee and controls this trust, and this is why people think public trustees control them. Let me see your ID. Now they have control. When you register your car, it's public now. This is why it doesn't matter if you have a private ID, you're trying to do that private shit. If your car is registered to a public legal entity, the government owns it. At any time, you can stop using this number and control how these benefits are distributed, and you can stop receiving them personally. You can be a trustee and beneficiary, but you can't be a sole trustee and a sole beneficiary. If you don't have this established, it's called a doctrine of merger. A doctrine of merger. So when you have your estate plan correctly, handing down something to hand down your children, you can do this without the Social Security number, because you can't do it with the Social Security number. You can't hand down things to your children with a Social Security number. Only a private trust. Only a private trust. Only a private trust and will. Have your estate plan correctly. Trust can distribute 100% of tax liabilities to the beneficiaries. Public trusts are governed under state statutes. Private trust is governed under family law. Understand this. So even with life insurance, I need y'all to understand all the spiritual connections. So with life insurance, if the contracts is not going to a trust, they're writing contracts on your true life and essence. Same way with judges. That's why they give multiple life sentences. So not only are they going to control this life, they're going to control the next life. But y'all not ready for that. That's just a spiritual talk. I hope this makes sense of why you need to have a private trust. The doctrine of merger is a legal principle where one legal status, right, or obligation is absorbed by another. It has several applications with private law, property law, criminal law, trust law. If a person holds both the legal and equitable titles to a trust assets as both trustee and beneficiary, the trust can terminate as the titles merge into a fee simple interest. This is called the doctrine of merger. So if there's only one sole trustee and one sole beneficiary, the trust is terminated. All right. So this is why you cannot be the trustee and beneficiary. You're the sole beneficiary, period. You can't be the trustee. You have to be in a family law, so the family can step up as successor trustees. In any corporation foundation that you have, the family steps in as a trustee, never a beneficiary. It's own nothing, control everything. Own nothing, control everything. If I'm benefiting from it, I can't control it. I'm only waiting for a handout. As a family trustee, we're here to grow the family. We're here to grow the trust. Let me know that this makes sense, everybody. Drop 100, drop fire emojis. And I'm telling you, we dropping this game in Atlanta, November 14th and November 15th. It's open to the public November 14th, but you have to be a member of the school. 7-day free trial. You can get the information. Click the link in the bio, go to school.com/Don Kilam, SKOOL.com/DONKILAM, or text private life to 702-200-4900. Again, text 702-200-4900. Text private life to 702-200-4900. Learn how to operate in trust. That's as simple as that. Quit waiting on handouts. Learn how to create your own cash flow. Simple as that. Learn how to create your own momentum into your trust. They're claiming your labor. You have to learn how to claim that back. Yes, there is such thing as tax credits. I've seen somebody speak on tax credits. When you learn that you're the business, everything is a tax credit or everything is a deductible. You no longer have bills. You have deductibles. It's being deducted. All right. When you learn that you work for the family, you'll start learning about fringe benefits. You'll start learning about stipends. These is trustee training right here. You learn how to take this. You learn how to take, you learn how to sell everything to the trust and then give it a promissory note to get your funds back, whatever it owes you. This is how you maneuver with a promissory note. This is how you use promissory notes. Simple as that, man. That's the game that I have for y'all today. Happy Sunday to everybody across the world. It's your boy Don Kilam. And remember, prosperity is your divine birthright. Tap in and tune in with your boy. Much peace and love. I'm done, babe. My bad.
Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G. Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building, you know what I'm saying? Word up. Hey, yo, make sure y'all check out the song bars, you know what I'm saying? Word up by my man Don Kilam. You heard? A Fresco King. Yeah, boy. You know what time it is. Make sure y'all check out the bars by my boy. All right? Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G.